Hey, everybody, we are live. I thank everybody who's tuned in and watching this. I can't quite see who is tuning in and watching it, but if you are tuning in, oh, there's my ticker. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Today, we got a very interesting topic. We are all talking about it in our own homes about the state of Georgia opening back up. So we got some special people that I want to bring into the set today to give their opinions about it. I'm going to share my opinions about it as well. And also, I want you guys to be a part of the conversation. You can type in that link there on your ticker and you can come in and talk with us about your thoughts on the whole state of Georgia reopening. So we're going to get to it. The first person I'm going to bring up, she is a registered nurse here at one of the leading hospitals in Atlanta. She's going to give you her take on the coronavirus. We also have my friend, my family member, my cousin-in-law, Rodney. He is going to talk from a different point of view, a different perspective. He's going to, go deep. Warning, he is a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, so he's going to come to you guys about all things that could be potentially involved with this. So I want you to get your own thought process. The whole thing tonight is to make you challenge your thinking. Are we all thinking alike, or what can we draw from each other? I think the number one thing we should do in this time is respect each other. We can all have different opinions. We can all think different ways, but at the end of the day, there should be an underlying level of respect. At least that's my opinion. So I'm gonna go ahead and invite them on now. And just remember, you can join the conversation by clicking on the link below and coming in and being a part of the conversation. So we're gonna go ahead and bring in Deanna first. She is the registered nurse that I spoke about, and then we're gonna bring in Rodney thereafter. So here we go. Deanna, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get Rodney on the screen as well. And we're gonna have some conversations. We're gonna answer a couple questions. Rodney, what's up?
What it do? What it do?
All right. That's it. All right, guys. So again, remember, you guys can be a part of the conversation with us and answer some of these questions. So the first question is obviously the first question in the frame of mind. Should we go back into society and exist the way we did once before? I'm going to throw that question to you first, Deanna. What's your answer?
I think we should go back into society, but only with precautions. Obviously the mask and the gloves is going to be the new norm. And I feel as if going back into society would be beneficial economically, but it should be done with precaution. And people should be mindful that we should have stimulations when we go back into society. I think that if you're going to reopen up businesses, maybe only have 1 to 2 stagger at a time. If you're right. Owner of a beauty or barber salon or whatever the case may be, maybe you should schedule your people an hour at a time. Make sure everyone come in with masks on, gloves on, standard precaution, Lysol everything down in between each client. Make sure that we're doing right. steps we take to, follow the standard precautions to decrease the amount of outbreaks and to limit spreading this virus from person to person. I feel as if you're going to reopen, I get it. Economically, we probably do need to reopen, but not at the same rate and the same methods in which we did prior to the coronavirus.
Right. Nothing will ever be the same. Exactly. And we all have to prepare for that. Rodney, what is your answer to that? Should we go back out into society?
I mean, D got a point. She got a point. Me personally, I don't agree with it because I just think that we still doesn't have the level of understanding of how strong this can be. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody been watching the news lately, but they also talking about blood clots and stuff can form with the disease now, and people getting amputated and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. And even like while now we on shutdown, how many people do they know has really passed away from corona that live by themselves? You see what I'm saying? So I mean, I think it's a good idea what she's saying. Now if they do something like, when you come in to get your nails done. But before I go deep into that though, the gym part, I don't think that gyms should be open right now.
Oh no, I don't agree with the gyms.
Right.
I guess I'm saying certain things should be open with stimulations. I get it because the economy still has to go on. If we don't put money back in, then we'll be in a state of depression. Things will be worse than what they were prior to the virus. But I don't agree with the gym. The gym is a hosting fest for germs. All the equipment, the machines are right next to each other. But I think that you can stagger something like a beauty salon or a barber salon. Like if you want to get your hair cut, if you schedule your client between 12 to 1, he shows up at 12, you cut his hair, bam. He has his mask on, you have your mask on, you have your gloves on, he had his gloves on. Then he leaves, you wipe down your seat, your station, Lysol it, sanitize it. Then the next man come in at 1 o'clock. You're not officially closed, but you still being able to operate. But you can't do that with certain places like a gym, a restaurant. If you do a restaurant, you must gonna have 2 or 3 seated, and that's it. And they're gonna be.
I don't even think they need to even do the restaurants. I think they just need to leave the restaurants the way they operating right now for at least another 2 months. You know, and I understand like small businesses need this money and all that other stuff, but at the same time though, I feel like what's more important, your health or the dollar? You know, I know we gotta survive, but I'm jumping a little ahead, I know, but
no, that's a good segue. That's a good segue into the next question. Can we stay home forever? Who's going to buy your food?
Right. Who is going to buy your food? Because after a while, guess what? You say that we can go to the grocery store, but guess what? I don't know how many y'all been going to the grocery stores lately. It ain't been a control. Right. It's been you go in there and it's about 50 to 60 to damn near 200 people in there. But you know what I'm saying?
And at the end of the day, when you go into any store, when you go into Publix and you go into Walmart and you get your groceries, when you walk out, before you walk out the door, what do we have to do? We have to pay for the stuff.
Right.
So if we are to stay at home forever and the economy completely stop, where does that money come from? It must be a circulation of money, because if you don't, you devalue the dollar. Yep. So we come out of this thing worse than we went in. And I think that the balance, there has to be a balance there. Just because you want to see people be financially strong and you want to have your own financial freedom, I don't think you should be typecast into saying that, okay, well, you don't care about other people and you want everybody to die from the coronavirus. As a small business owner myself of 2 businesses, I don't want to see any of the businesses that I have created fail at the time of the coronavirus. So how do we bridge that gap?
Well, here's
the gap by opening up slowly, but with limitations. You can't bring this thing back exactly the way it was prior to the coronavirus. If you're going to try to reopen, then you start gradually. Okay, if you as a broker, you may say, I'm going to still continue to show houses, but guess what? I'm showing up with my mask on, my gloves on, and I'm only doing 4 clients a day, or whatever the case may be. We're only staying in the home for 5 minutes versus the full 20 minutes. We're wiping down that. I think it should be stimulation. You can still work, but it has to be some stimulation. But I don't believe in these full-blown restaurants and gyms, no. But little stuff like still operating a brokerage or maybe still operating a beauty salon, yes, but with stimulation, one at a time, one client at a time.
Right.
With a salon, maybe one technician and one person get their nails done. It's scheduled. You come in, this is your time. This is what you do. Nobody else is in there with you. Nobody else is in there with you. They put sanitizer in between each client. So I think you still be able to function, but you have to function with stimulation and extreme precaution.
And also, let's not forget that you must have a direction. Because you can say we can open up everything or open up the ones that we called out at first, but here's where we losing it at. Gyms have to be ran, right? You got to pay a tuition. I mean, not a tuition, but a fee, right? Nail salons, you got to come up with that. Now, here's how you do that though. How we keep the money into the city. How we keep the money rotating in the city in this time right now. Exactly. I feel like that the idea should be focused on the areas that's like more important, things that have made the economy get bigger and grow to the same degree of what they're trying to succeed at. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that we should like just necessarily focus on small areas and you got a larger population out there for something. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I think that there has to be, again, precaution, and there has to be a way that we can bridge the gap of people that want to remain financially safe and comfortable to a certain degree, because there will be this is uncomfortable as it is. You will not be comfortable. But when you get ready to check out at Kroger and Publix, they ask for money. And right now we're at a point where we're still, in my opinion, economically in the beginning of this thing. I mean, right now,
for sure.
You know, if this continues, how are you going to pay for your groceries if the government do not be that bridge, that gap? The $1,200 stimulus check, in my opinion, was a good start, but it has to be something more than that, and it has to be consistent. It has to be something that is a routine, whether that's going to be monthly or bi-weekly. If you want people to quarantine, it's almost like asking someone to build a house without wood and frame. You can't build a house without the material.
Check this out. So earlier today, I tried to watch what I watch to make sure that what it's saying sounds like facts, and then I like Google it a little bit, or it might be something that I already know. But check this out. So earlier today, I was on Facebook and I was looking at some news that shows like what goes on in the White House. I don't know if y'all ever seen those little videos where they show you the Senate said something about this situation or that. There'd be a bunch of people in them. Well, in this sense, the lady was talking about how we could control letting people still stay at home, being safe, you know what I'm saying, and still sustain life at the same time. Well, what she had proposed was that, all these trillions of dollars that we giving away wasn't divvying out the way it needed to be divvied out. Okay. So basically, they picked random situations and they came up with a number pretty much fast. So, that's why you had people getting 22 and 23, and then you had other folks getting 12 or 17 or whatever the case may be. Now, with this money being out there now, people know that the government has the money. Now, here's where the panic come in. Oh, Lord, what we gonna do? We ain't got no money. So now it's gonna create a frenzy to where people gonna be out even more. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get this money. But the reason why I brought that up is that when you sit down and have a plan and you can actually see how it's gonna happen, because we ain't the first country that done had to sit here and deal with this. Right. You had China that started it off, and then London, and then Canada, and all these, and just all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Now you're hearing about Caribbean islands catching it and stuff like that. So I mean, it's an impact that's gonna crush a lot of things. So that's why I say sometimes you need to sit back, focus on what's important. And I feel like that the economy has to be together for the money to be able to flow the way it need to flow. Right. Because we can easily shut this whole country down, bro, and be okay. Come on, man. It wouldn't be no problem.
For how long? How long do you think that can last?
Well, you can't do it forever, but at the same time, though, we still have the power to do that. Come on, everything we do is in our country. You go to Kroger's, of course, we got to have food and stuff like that, but just well as Canada can sit there and pay for their people's rent for what they said 8 months or some shit like that. Like, come on, how we can't? You can't tell me we can't. We just gave a stimulus check.
We print our own money, right? I mean, at the end of the day, but
I feel as if the ultimate concern is health, and the health and concerns of the well-being. That's the ultimate concern. That's why we're all here in regards to that. No one wants lives to be lost. No one wants anyone to be bad off financially, either economically. That's why we have to find a way to please both parties, meaning that you have to find a way to stay safe, stay healthy, and find a way to still be financially fit and still make a living for yourself. That's why I say open with caution, but not with just the way things were before. That's why I say you have to have stimulations in how you do things. I think Kemp is doing the best that he can with the hand that is given to him, but I don't think it was given as much thought.
Sorry, D. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, D. But that's go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
With how he was going to do this, I think he just said, "Just do it." I think he's a businessman first. He don't think about the health aspect of it. I think he's saying, "Well, I dished out all this money. Now I have to find a way to keep the money flowing and to keep things going economically before we're in a depression or something that's way farther than where we were before." I don't agree with him opening up everything, but I do agree with him maybe opening up certain things with stimulations and still keeping health first. Meaning that open up, but with stimulation. Don't have 10 people in here or 15 people in here. I know CDC say 10 or less. I say the bare minimum. You can still run a business with scheduled people, and they're in and out, sanitized in between. Mask and gloves is the only way you're gonna get in here. If you
All right,
have
so
masks,
I gotta crush Governor Kemp for a minute. Let me crush him for a minute.
All right.
Because the same way you can sit there and tell people that you can have gyms and you can have nail salons and you can have all these stores open, right? As a state of Georgia that you supposed to be governor of, why haven't you came out and said all these names that I just called? I'm gonna also make sure that y'all have the means and the necessities to be able to function like that. You see what I'm saying? So even like, I'm finna switch the gears real quick. Me personally, I think all this was going on dealing with Obama. I ain't talking about the presidency of Obama or none of that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ideal of what's happening right now was done way back then. I know there's some people on here that saw that video of Barack speaking that about 5 years ago, and 5 years later, what has happened? I know everybody done seen the video of Trump talking about, he got control of it and all this, and then now he's saying that he's leaving it in the hands of the governors to make the decision of what they're gonna do. Now, me personally, I think all of it was planned by a higher power, but I don't want to get too deep in that because I can.
I think that we all are at a point where we're challenging our own mindset, right? You're challenging your own thought process. And I think that we are in a crucial time now where the season, as the pastor would say in the church, the season is to think for yourself. Right. You're in a time where you have to think for yourself. You can't allow other people to think for you. You cannot live your life thinking that everybody have your best intention at heart, because they don't. So you have to be wise enough to know whether or not it's safe for you to go outside. And that's going to be my question too. But let's talk about the topic. Obama predicted this. Now, Obama predicted this in 2014, according to Trump. There was no PPE. There was no ventilators on stockpile. There was nothing in preparation of what Barack Obama predicted. So did Barack Obama not prepare for this? Or what did Barack Obama do, Deanna? Did he not prepare for this?
I don't think this falls on Obama. I feel as if the coronavirus, it may have been predicted, but no one knew for sure what was going to happen. I think we as a country were never prepared for this type of pandemic, period. The hospitals lack ventilators. We lack the proper PPE, including gloves, gowns, face masks, goggles, you name it. We don't have it. And we're soliciting from regular consumers for homemade masks, homemade this, just to be able to sustain, to function properly in a hospital setting, and to give the people who have been infected the proper care and the best care possibly. But we're at basically a rock and a hard place right now. We don't have what we need yet. We have to do the best that we can. I don't think this falls on Obama. I just think that we as a whole, U.S., a country, whomever, China, all of us, none of us were prepared for this type of pandemic. I don't think nobody really and truly knew what was going to happen. But when it hit, we were in a state of panic. We were trying to gather supplies. We were trying to make the best of the situation.
Well, my question to that is, if number 44, President Barack Obama, and I voted for Barack Obama, so I again, this is to challenge the thought process.
Yeah, this is not about him being the president. You know what I'm saying?
But if he predicted this, from my understanding of when presidents switch hands, there's a briefing that happens. There is several different briefings of the State of the Union, where we are, what is of importance. All of these things come in alignment. Now, did Trump just not listen? I don't know.
No, he listened. He listened. He heard that part. He was waiting on this.
So, Rodney, I yield that question to you. What do you feel about President Obama's involvement with this and the lack of preparation claimed by President Trump?
I think it's all controlled. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if he wanted to react. He couldn't. You know what I'm saying? This is the conspiracy part of me. It was given to him as an informational level. Hell, he could even just walk past the area where they doing this type of testing on certain things. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. We still got areas that we don't even know about the government knowing. You know what I'm saying? We know they know some stuff. You know, we know they hide some stuff. But at the same time, though, I even feel like when he even sold, you know, the chemical course or class or whatever he sold to the Chinese. Come on, man. Why would you sell that?
Yeah, it was a claim that he gave about, I think, $15 million to the research center in Wuhan, where this pandemic actually, I guess, originated from. So
come on. And also with the man who was the head dude over the science program was a teacher in the University of Kansas or something like that. Come on, man. Right. You know, they're talking about he was the man that created the whole thing. And guess what? And then when you do your search on him, his family is part of the government source.
Right. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's switch gears just a little bit. I want to get this question in. Should we be more concerned with unemployment benefits in the state of Georgia over playing the race card? Do you think we're playing the race? Well, let me not say playing the race card, but there are a lot of people that I've seen on my Facebook and my timeline that has equated Governor Kemp opening up the state of Georgia as pretty much genocide on African Americans. Should we as African Americans be focused more on the fact of making sure the unemployment benefits are maintained for those people and the industries that ultimately reopen on Friday and Monday versus jacking it up about race? What is more important, the unemployment benefits to help people actually endure throughout the pandemic, or throwing around race when it comes to Governor Kemp? Which is more important, Deanna?
I think that if you feel unsafe, I have done research that states if you feel unsafe, you don't necessarily have to go back to your place of employment because Kemp says it's okay to open up the doors. You can still continue to receive your unemployment benefits. So therefore, I feel as if you have to make the decision for your own health and for your own well-being. Me personally, I don't know if race plays a part in this per se. I think that you have to basically make the decision for your own good in regards to your own personal health. I feel as if you feel unsafe, from what I read, the guidelines say that you still will be able to receive your unemployment benefits, even if your place of employment open back up. If you feel it deemed unsafe, you have the right to protect yourself, meaning that continue to collect your unemployment benefits and you know, do things if you normally did despite the openings.
Right. I want to give everybody who's watching an opportunity to tune in with us and actually come on the conversation with us. Here's the link. The link is also in the chat box. You can click on that link and open up an app and it'll bring you right to the studio. We'll put you up on screen. You can ask questions to either myself, Deanna, or Rodney. We'll get you in on the conversation. I think it's important that we all have a voice in this time. And at the end of the day, we are hoping that we're leaning on our elected officials to do their job. And in my opinion, it is to bridge the gap of how do we self-quarantine in an economical way? Because the biggest thing that people are fighting for, literally in the middle of the streets with guns and all kind of stuff, they're fighting for their economic freedom and their ability to control their own destiny financially. Now, again, if the federal government can actually find a way to sustain people throughout this time, I don't think you'll have as much unrest as you do. But what we're seeing is a shortfall in the overall filling in the gap. You can tell somebody to build me a house, but if you don't give them wood and nails, you're never going to get a house. If you don't give people money to pay their bills and sustain, they're not going to stay in the house. They have to go out and provide. And that does not make them less worried about other people. As I've heard people say, I've literally had people say, because you want to sustain and keep your financial stability, what little bit you can, then that means you don't care about other people and you hope everybody die. I think that that's a broad brush to paint when you're just trying to provide for your kids. Because as I said, when you go to Walmart and Kroger and Publix and you go to that register, you need money. You can't say I'm on quarantine. I'll see you when the world open back up. I catch it in. That's not going to happen. So if you guys are watching this, I want to hear from you. come on the live. Let's have a conversation, or put a comment in the comment box, and we'll put it on the screen and we'll talk about it if you don't want to come online. But I do have another question while we wait on other people to jump in to the conversation.
Hey, Raymond, before you jump to the other question, as far as like race goes, you know, this is just me. But when you're talking about black people and unemployment, I mean, you just think about.
It's not necessarily black people on unemployment. There's everybody on unemployment.
Right. But I'm saying as far as like black people and unemployment goes, you know what I'm saying? When you talking about, I have the option to either stay at home and still get my unemployment, or go to work and take the risk of doing, you know what I'm saying, work.
Right.
Some people is going to lean more towards, well, no, man, don't open this place up there. You know, so I'm staying at home. You see what I'm saying? Because it's the paranoia that the media puts in your head. It's the paranoia of what you're hearing from this president. You know what I'm saying? There are no solutions. They tell you that they got a test, but to get back to on topic, I don't want to jump too far, but it's still a black thing. Regardless to how you want to look at it, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody gonna assume that it's here to kill all black people. It's here to make people black people, because we know black people gonna say what they want to say. Man, I ain't going to work today. You crazy as hell. He gonna have to fire me. But I'm just saying, you know, you have people out there who's like that. But then you also have people like us who actually just say, nah, we're gonna just take the chance and go on out there and do what we gotta do. Right. You know, so as far as like the unemployment rate and is it a racial thing? You know, it's always gonna be racial. This world has gotten greedy on race for the last 4 years now. You know what I'm saying? We have gotten to an all-time high as far as racism go. I mean, with social media out there now, it's showing what's been said since we was little kids. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when it's come to that, yeah, I just think that there's just two different areas to go with when you're talking about unemployment and race.
Well, let's talk about this. And I think this is something that most people are failing to understand. So the governor of Georgia has declared that certain people can go back to work, right? Beauticians, barbers, hair, what is that? Tattoo artists, bowling alleys and gyms. That does not mean you have to go.
Right.
Because somebody opens the state does not mean you have to go outside. So that brings up a question of consumer confidence. Nothing will happen in the economy, in my opinion, without consumer confidence. Consumers is what makes the economy. Right. That's how our economy works. People go out, they buy, and it recirculates throughout the economy. So consumer confidence is really what we should be talking about. The governor can open everything he want to open by way of releasing a moratorium or an order, but until consumers are confident to go outside, it means nothing. So what are we really arguing about? Deanna,
that the government need to give more money. Because guess what? How big you think you pay in taxes? Like when you giving them taxes without what you getting in the refund, how much money are you giving them?
Well, I mean, yeah, it depends on how much you make, but yeah, we are
also. Have y'all ever paid attention to your 401k? If you got 401k, you might want to go look at it. Because
I think it's fine. I think it's going down. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the point of having a question about consumer confidence, do you think consumers will go back into reality, Deanna?
No,
exactly.
I don't either. I'm still doing what I've always done.
Exactly.
Still take the precaution, wear your mask and your gloves. Just because you say you're open don't mean that I necessarily have to go. I think I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm still wearing my gloves. I'm still wearing my mask. I may do the normal routines that I would do. If I'm going to a beauty salon, it has to be one. Like I said, 1 or 2 at a time. I'm not going back into a full, large crowd. I'm not doing that. Even though if you give me the right to do, I'm not doing that because I choose health over wealth. And that's just bottom line. No, right. I do. Well, I think that we need to open back up the economy to a certain extent. Yes, but with precautions, standard precautions, with stimulations, not just freely the way it seems it's going to be.
Right. Now, why is it just got to be the gym, the nail salon, the barbershops? See, that's where the people got the racism card going on there.
Let's talk about that in a second. But this question I want to pose: did Trump throw Kemp under the bus?
Yep.
Rodney?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You know why? Because Kemp let him do it. You know why? Because he sat there and think about it. We had Stacey Abrams running for governor, right?
Mhm.
If we run back the hands of time on that, you had Keisha Lance Bottom
Mhm.
as mayor of the city, one
Mhm.
female. Then you talking about putting another female as governor. I knew it wasn't gonna work then. You know
Mhm.
why? Because think about it. Why would we let two females run a whole state?
Mhm.
Because the way things would have been in Georgia would have been a way different situation. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that we would have came out on top having her and Keisha in the same pot. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, everybody who becomes a mayor also go to jail too. So I hope nothing happens to Keisha. I like Keisha. She from the hood. She grew up on the west side, and I want to see her succeed. Let her be at least the first black woman
Oh,
who ain't
man.
went to jail.
You said all of the mayors go to jail.
Every last one on. And didn't what's her name go to jail? The other lady.
No, Shirley Franklin, her son went to jail, but she didn't.
But she had criminal intents there.
All right, Deanna, what's your answer on that? Did Trump throw Kemp under the bus? What do you think?
I don't think he threw him under the bus. I think that Kemp is in. I guess you're supposed to look out for your people in your particular town or country or state or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
Ultimately, he has to make the decision of what he thinks is right for his particular state. I
Mhm.
don't think that Trump. I don't think Trump that influenced him positively or negatively. I think if you're in that type of managerial or if you're in that type of leadership role, you have to have the capabilities of making the decisions and the what you think are the right decisions for your people. Period.
Right.
Exactly, D. And that's what I'm saying. Like what you saying is not what he doing. You see what I'm saying? I think that Kemp is sitting up there just taking orders and not really enforcing. The New York governor, right? The New York governor.
Mhm.
I don't know if anybody been following him. This dude has been speaking so now, whether he believe in what he's talking about or not, but he's a Republican. He's not a Democrat.
No, he's
But
a Democrat.
he's a Democrat. Damn, my bad, my fault. That was bad information. But still, in fact, though, his dude is dead serious about what he said, bro. Why would you tell us to open these areas up and you giving no funding? We have no testing that you done dropped off. You have no backup for gloves and masks and stuff. But you telling us to just fend for yourself. And I done did my part. My name has been signed on that check that I done gave everybody. So,
but see,
I'm good.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but Kemp should have had the leadership ability to say, we're unprepared. If he felt that way, we're unprepared. He should have said, no, I'm not opening it back up because we don't have the supplies. We still don't, the numbers, the coronavirus curve is still going high. It hasn't plateaued yet. So no, I'm not opening it up. But he chose to open it up. Now it's us as citizens and as civilians to say, regardless, if I don't feel safe, I'm not going to participate, whether you open or not. But he made his decision. He has to stand on his decisions. But me personally, it was his responsibility to keep us safe as civilians. But we still have an ultimate goal to ourselves to keep our own self safe, despite of what the decisions that Kemp made.
And who put Kemp in governor? Who put Kemp over there in the governor seat for Georgia?
We are going to the next question. All right, so the next question I want to know your opinion on is Kemp shutting out the mayors. Why do you think he did that? What did he gain by shutting out the mayors? Here's my answer on that. I think that Kemp shut out the mayors because he was going to do what he was going to do. And sometimes when people get in that way, what's the point of bringing them in? If I'm going to make my decision and do what I'm going to do, then I don't need your opinion. Now, I don't necessarily think that he won any, support in that way. Obviously, the people of Georgia, like you and like all three of us, we are obviously against and not in lockstep with our governor. I think he is supporting probably 1/3 of Georgia, and the other, 3/4 of Georgia is 1/4 of Georgia. The other 3/4 are on an island right now because he's representing their interests and not necessarily the interests of the totality of Georgia. But that's why I think he shut him out, because he already had an answer. He already knew which direction he was going. So we've all seen on the news that Mayor Keisha Lance Bottom has come out and stated how she was blindsided. And I think Keisha did a good job with trying to save face with Kemp. I think she went in every avenue leading up to what he did on this Tuesday to try to be in lockstep with him, trying to show unity, trying to show leadership. But I think he really just broke ranks and did what he wanted to do. Why do you think he did that?
Dude, he just retarded, man. You know what I'm saying? He don't understand the value of the person that's next to you. If you got to work with this person, you got to work with this person. You see what I'm saying? Even at jobs, let me pause that real quick. I'm gonna say this real fast. Even at jobs, you might not like somebody. You might can't stand that person. They might drive you insane. But will you let that person judge how you get your check? Right. All right. So back to the topic that we were talking about. I just think that he doesn't understand the value of power. You know what I'm saying? He wants it, but see, he don't know how to contain it. That's why he got people like Trump on his back. You see what I'm saying? That's why he got other Republicans that's on his back. But he shut everybody out because guess what? Oh, Big Daddy told me to do this. I'm gonna do what Big Daddy say. Right. I ain't listening to y'all. Well, y'all on mute.
In that case, Big Daddy left. Because Big Daddy on national TV saying that he shouldn't have did that.
Have you ever seen him kiss his wife?
Who?
Trump. You gotta think about that. You can't do it. How many times you seen Barack kiss his wife? Every time.
I think, but yeah, that's yeah.
I'm just saying the devil don't like friends, man. So he ain't gonna look out for you. He gonna put you where you want him to put you at, but he ain't gonna want to deal with you when you get in that hot water. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think Kemp made his decisions based on what he thought was right, and he didn't take the time to do what we call what is it when you solicit opinions from people like your subordinates and you all work together and make a decision. I think he was operating more as is it a dictator or some type of what is it? The person that's totally in control and does not a tyrant. That's the term I'm looking for. Almost like that. He operated in that such. So I don't know. I think it's not the best way to operate. Considering, I think the best thing to do is
going back to that question about the mayors. I think if Kemp, so his position was wrong, hands down. I think that without the protocol, without the guidance, without the protection for the individuals that are going into these nail salons and barbershops and tattoo parlors, without providing that to the entrepreneur, the business owner, he's setting them up to fail. Right. But I think that he would have favored a hell of a lot more had he brought in the mayors to champion whatever decision he made. Because going back to the teamwork and the solidarity, when you have people on your side that are aiding you and going back to what you talked about power and how to use that power and how to be the leader of your state, I think he probably would have gained a lot had he been in lockstep with the mayors versus pretty much icing them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if Keisha saying she got blindsided by the idea, that lets you know right now that he didn't ever talk to nobody. He ran right on with the idea. As soon as Big Daddy said, "Hey, do it," he said, "Yes, sir." He hung up that phone and got right on the news the next day. You hear me?
But we can't operate solo like that when it comes to things. The best thing is to sit down, collaborate, and work together. That's
It takes a village, man. It takes a village. Now we can't expect this to go away off the mayor, the president. It has to be us who do it. You see what I'm saying? Because on the way that everybody would, this is what I feel that the nation would love to see not happen. The nation comes together against the government on shit that they know that they're supposed to be doing. If everybody's choice gets taken away, then you have no reason to listen to any decision that anybody makes other than what the government wants you to listen to. And I think that the people are now, even with Barack Obama, even when we started voting for him, I feel a lot of people voted because that's a black president. I voted because that's a black president that ain't nobody did before. You see what I'm saying? Right. And also the other things that I found out that he was doing with the colleges and everything else. But either way it goes, you see, and that's where I think that they don't understand as far as like Democrat and Republican. We're gonna always have this battle. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be always like East and West Coast. It's just gonna be that way, you know.
Right.
So
Right. Well, I want to bring in. So apparently I can't see the Facebook stuff. We're broadcasting on Facebook, but I can't see the comments from Facebook. So I want to read a comment here. Your wife, Rodney, stated, "I think Trump told him he could do it." Hold on. The question, the comment just went away. I want to bring that in. I think Trump told him he can do it. Then, since all of the backlash Trump turned on him, he don't want the blame on anything bad. So she's talking about Trump, not wanting to blame. And then she also stated that Brian Kemp stole the seat from Stacey.
yes, sir.
So I think that's a valid subject matter. I want to bring that one on next. We're going to wrap this thing up here in a minute. If you are watching on Facebook, because I see that Facebook is doing its own thing, I want you guys to click on, or dang, they can't really type it in there, but that's the link. You can copy that link down and actually get on the broadcast with us. I'll leave that link up there. But so my question was, will Georgia suffer as a result of what Kemp did? Do you think the state will suffer, or do you think that things will, the people won't go out and the state will be okay? What do you think?
I feel as if that most people will continue to do what they've always done. That is, act on the side of caution. I don't think people are going to rush out like that and just run back in here willy-nilly without being protected. I feel as if they do, the coronavirus curve will increase, and maybe the deaths will increase. But I don't think I don't think we can 100% fault the decision that Kemp made in regards to that, because we ultimately, as a consumer, the civilian living in here, have to make the decision of whether we're going to go out or not. So there's no fault and blame in it about the decision that he made to reopen, how it will affect us. Ultimately, we have to find a decision and say so whether we're going to go out or not. But I think that having the opportunity to reopen will be beneficial to some small business owners, that they can get out and still economically support their families. But as a consumer, it's your right and your decision to stay in still. Me personally, I will be staying in. I will not go out unless it's deemed necessary, because the numbers are still on the rise and I don't deem it safe.
Right.
And it's to be not against that, but because I'm with everything you're saying, I just feel like as far as suffering, we are already suffering. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many people we done lost already? I think the suffering has got to a point where, like how y'all said earlier, we didn't know how big this was. We didn't never imagine that this could to turn out the way it's turned out. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, though, we ain't like we don't know what it is. So as far as like as if Georgia's suffering, Georgia's gonna suffer anywhere it go. Mm-hmm. We're gonna suffer now. So yeah, I think we're gonna keep suffering. But at the same time, if don't nobody take this serious and start taking action, like all these people going to the beaches and going to the parks, and it's like 50 something. Look, we got to take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Just because we ain't seen somebody die in our household behind it doesn't mean it's not real. Right. And I'm glad that my wife is on here, because we have conversations like this all the time. But we just need to be prepared. Suffering, that's gonna happen. To me, this virus is a war mechanism to kill population. I think that the population was getting too big for the government to handle. That's just me, though, because I go back to my conspiracy side. But it's a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's lethal like that, that's a weapon. So.
Gotcha. All right. I mean, we will. I mean, we've been on this thing 44 minutes. I think we've had some good conversations. And I think that I hope the people that came across the channel and came across the feed learned something. And I know I did. I think my thinking has changed a little bit. It's shifted a little bit. Looking at it from different perspectives is always what you should push yourself to do, in my opinion, in order to grow. You got to be able to look at it from more than just your point of view. Any final thoughts, Deanna?
Stay safe. Okay. Do whatever you need to do to keep you and your family safe. If you feel like you want to go out and take the chance, stay safe. If you feel like you want to stay in, stay safe. Either way it goes, stay safe. Do the best you can because this virus is here to stay. I don't see it leaving anytime soon. We have to make the best of the situation. Wash your hands, sanitize, wear your mask, wear your gloves. Stay safe with whatever decision you make.
Absolutely. Yep. Rodney, what's your last thoughts?
Hey, y'all just pay attention, man. Wake up. Don't let this information just pass y'all by somebody telling y'all from word of mouth, man. Actually get out there and do your research. You know what I'm saying? Learn about these type of viruses. You know, ever since I seen it on the back of the Lysol can, boy, I done went and Googled it, almost every last one of them things back there. Like, what is this? You know?
Right.
You know, so hey, shit, believe it or not, one of them things on there kill fungus on your feet. I don't know what.
Okay.
I'm just bullshit. But yeah, man, y'all just pay attention, man. Wake up, man. Like for real, man. This just ain't happening for just to be happening, man. There is a reason behind why it's happening. All this is on a clock. Please wake up.
Right. Well, I want to thank y'all for getting on here with me, Deanna and Rodney. I appreciate y'all's time, and I hope that we do it again soon. Different topics, but I like the atmosphere of this, and I like being able to open up my mind to other people by way of Facebook or YouTube. And if you are watching, please hit the subscription button. If you're over on YouTube, you get more content like this, you know, more often. So I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all be safe. Y'all stay at home, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Peace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in, man. It was a great conversation, and I hope that you guys learned something from the conversation with Rodney, Deanna, and myself. Thank you for tuning in, and you can catch me on the next one. Like I said, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. More content will come, and we'll do it more often. So thank y'all, and y'all be good. Peace.